You are listening to the What Queens Say podcast.
Welcome to What Queens Say, the podcast that reigns supreme in the realms of entertainment news and politics. Here, we embrace the fun and the crazy that is life, where the crowns of comedy and respectability sit side by side. As we navigate through the ever-changing kingdoms and queendoms of pop culture and political intrigues, I pledge to treat all with reverence and jest, so don't get offended so easily. If this is your first time here, thank you for listening, and if you would like to be part of my court and hear all the latest episodes, be sure to follow and subscribe. So, my esteemed kings and queens, sit upon your thrones, grab your royal goblets, and let the wisdom and whimsy commence.
Hey peasants, this is a What Queens Say podcast.
Welcome back, beloved listeners, to What Queens Say. For new listeners and those who already know, I'm Queen D. I hope this podcast will break barriers, educate the ignorant, and bring peace and understanding to all my listeners. As always, I will start off this episode with current events, but if you couldn't tell from the thumbnail, this episode's main point of contention will be on Barbie, the world-renowned fashion icon. She has captured the hearts of millions with her classic beauty and limitless potential. She is an entrepreneur, musician, artist, philanthropist, and president. She continues to inspire young women and gays everywhere to dream big and break down barriers. Now, she is in the hit blockbuster movie of the summer. Barbie is now in theaters everywhere. But first, current events across America. I will start off with the gay presidential candidate that no one loves, not even his mother. That is, of course, Dion DEEEEESantis. I recently discovered that the correct pronunciation is DeSantis and not DeSantis. His beard, and by beard I mean his wife, said that DeSantis sounded a bit too feminine if he wants to be governor and future dictator. I have a lot of opinions on that woman, but I'll save that for another episode. His name change isn't the recent events I'll be sharing. I just thought you all would like to know so that you can start calling him by his government name. I'm sure it will get under his skin, just like the many trans men and women that get called by their government names by him and his supporters. Today, I'll be talking about his overhaul of Florida's African American history standards. This power bottom has proven once again that he is a racist bigot that came out of his gay swamp to breed with a racist and bigoted woman and spread his backward swamp ideas across the great nation that is America. Dion is facing a lot of criticism from politicians, historians, and educators because he is downplaying what the slaves went through in our history. As I said in my last episode about Jason Aldean, there will always be people in our country that know the truth, and no politician will ever keep an American silent, even though that is what conservatives want. So here is one of the things that the dumbass said. He said, slaves developed skills which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. Like what exactly? Working for no pay? Getting whipped? Having your children ripped away from you to be sold off, or ripping your wife out of your arms to send her to the master's quarters? Not to get graphic, but what the hell? This pisses me off so much, and a politician like him and Clan Mom Green and Hobarf and countless others have no business being allowed in our government. People get fired from their jobs for saying less than this. Are these the standards of Republicans now? Anyways, Dion is fighting against the woke agenda in the education system. You know, the woke agenda that teaches children that there are racist white folks in their neck of the woods and other parts of the country. Anyone who thinks sugarcoating black history in America and sugarcoating what the whites did is racist. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. If you say anything along the lines of, well, but they also, then you are a racist and should shut the fuck up. Matter of fact, go back to your ancestral home and I'll help you pack. But let's be real. Dion doesn't like that he can't just say all the racist things he wants. Oh wait, sorry, he does. Let me try that again. Dion doesn't want to live in a world where his white children can't grow up and use their white privilege. He doesn't want to have his white supremacist groomed children coming home telling him all about the atrocities the white men and women did to black people, when at home he's grooming his children to think that whites are the good ones sent by God, yet do evil things. I'm sure I'm stretching it here, but you get my point. Moving on from that white supremacist and on to white supremacists as a whole. In the last episode, I talked about the MAGA MVP Jason Aldean and his racist song and racist music video. Well, it made it to number 2 on the charts. That's right. The white supremacists and good old boys came out to fight against the woke left, and the only way to do so is to go download the song until it gets close to number 1. Millions of racist men and women went out in full support to get the song up there to teach the woke left a lesson to not come after their clan. I was angry when these people came out of the hiding after Trump gave them the balls to do so, but now I'm happy that they did. This just gives me and all of you listening another clue on who to not let into your life. Going after Jason wasn't an attack on country music or white people. It was an attack on racist songs that tells people to take the law into their own hands in these small towns. Everyone knows what he meant when he was playing really dumb. Then again, he didn't even write the song. He and his dumb wife seemed too illiterate to write. No shade there. But maybe Jason is really dumb and not playing dumb. Try That in a Small Town was written by Kurt Allison, Kelly Lovelace, Neil Thrasher, and Tolly Kennedy. I don't even know who these people are, and I don't care. I doubt Jason had any say in the song or the making of the music video. He seems like one of those people that isn't always there, like in a bless his heart kind of way. What I'm trying to say is maybe he's just dumb, white, ignorant imbecile and has no idea what the song was about. Nah, I take that back. He knows what he's doing. He has gone full Proud Boy because that is where the checks come in. I don't care if you live near a white supremacist, but if you make friends and think they aren't bad, just misunderstood, no bitch. They are bad. They are terrible. They will suck you in and make you think that straight white men and white women are an endangered species and that all your struggles in life are not your meth addiction, alcoholism, gambling addiction, bad choices, and lack of education, but because of the gays, black people, brown people, and non-conservatives. All the white people listening that have people like this in their lives, run, cracker. Moving on from white shit, now onto music and Broadway news. So I guess we can say moving on from white shit and onto some gay shit. As I mentioned in my last episode, Ariana and her husband are allegedly divorcing. Well, more news has come to light, and that is Ariana has moved on, but not with Andrew Garfield. Oh no, it would be her co-star Ethan Slater. You may be asking, who the hell is that? Well, you aren't alone. I too have no idea who he is, but he played SpongeBob SquarePants in the SpongeBob Broadway play. It is alleged that Ariana's marriage ended in January, but there's no word if that is true at this time. The only reason it came out is a source that is friends with Ethan's wife came forward with the news. There are sources left and right throwing out updates. Some say that it is all lies, some say that Ethan and his wife have been separated since May, and some say Ariana has been separated from her husband since January. Some say that they have been sneaking kisses and groping each other around the set backstage. The sources obviously don't need to sign NDAs. Let's get this straight on my channel. I love Broadway, not because I'm gay. Okay, well, maybe. Anyways, one of my favorites is Wicked. They better not, Ariana and Ethan, better not ruin this movie with their behavior. In this day and age, bad press for a movie is not good, and I and millions of others will be very disappointed if it is ruined because Ariana couldn't keep her ruby slippers together and Ethan couldn't keep his Tin Man in his pants. All this is alleged. I don't care until it is confirmed, but I hope Ariana isn't the other woman in Ethan's marriage, and I hope Ethan isn't the other guy in Ariana's marriage. That just tarnishes the relationship from the get-go, and to be honest, if it is true, they should have been spending more time trying to fix their marriage than finding places to hide from cast and crew to fool around. Also, if you are a grown-ass adult sneaking around your relationship, then you know it is wrong. Anyways, I'll keep you updated, listeners, on any further news. Not sure if any of it's going to come up. One other thing that happened just now as I was recording, it was announced just now that Sinead O'Connor, the Nothing Compares to You singer, has passed away. They haven't reported any news on how or why she passed, but for those of you who may not know, her son had died from suicide about a year ago, or actually I think, it was about a year ago. He was only 17 years old. Sinead O'Connor recently had posted an emoji which was share your emotion right now, somehow using emojis, and she showed like 10 crying faces. And I hope that's not true, because that would be really sad to hear. Not sure how she passed away, but if anyone is suffering with thoughts of suicide, always contact your local suicide hotline. If you or anyone is grieving from the passing of a loved one, get help. Find other grief support groups out there that can help with anyone who's going through that kind of grief. Turn to friends and family. It's not shameful to get help. Sending all the love to Sinead O'Connor's family and all of her fans, and hopefully she has reunited with her son, and I wish them both the best in the afterlife. Now on to the reason you're probably all here, and that is our matter of contention, Queen Barbie. This episode is getting out late because I wanted to see the Barbie movie first. My husband surprised me with tickets, and we saw it and we loved it. For those that are listening, if you haven't seen it, there are spoilers, so you might want to listen to the episode after watching it. If you don't care, let's go. I pretty much stayed away from all news and comments online about this movie. I wanted to see the movie without any pre-warnings or info that may tarnish my Barbie viewing experience. I believe if you read a lot of negative news or media about the movie and then you go see the movie, you take those thoughts with you and then you start nitpicking every little thing. So I like to go into a movie without any kind of input from the critics or the people who've gone to see it before. I'm so happy though that I did do that, because this movie was amazing. I went in with no expectations except for to see an adult version of a Barbie film and not an animated children's movie. It was witty as all hell and played into the stereotypes of Barbie, but also played into the reason why Barbie was invented to begin with. It had this wholesomeness to it that, it really is a touching movie, and I think everyone would love it. Maybe not cis straight men who are really full of testosterone and manhood. Of course, it's a Barbie movie. Not everything's made for you. Well, anyways, as a boy, I always wanted a Ken or Barbie, but boys back then shouldn't play with Kens and Barbies because that is wrong, and gay is wrong, and boys with girl toys is wrong. Basically, I was groomed by straight people. But I had my Ninja Turtles and He-Man, and you gotta admit, Donatello and He-Man are pretty gay. Don't come after me, Donatello lovers and He-Man lovers, but yes, they're totally gay. And because I couldn't have Kens or Barbies, I pretty much made it work. So the movie starts out perfectly narrated by Helen Mirren, and once we are introduced to Barbie, we hear Pink by Lizzo that pretty much narrates the day in the life of all the Barbies through music. It is so clever and so hilarious. I just can't get over the set, the small Easter eggs. Poor Midge. Poor Midge. That's all I can say. And Alan, poor Alan. Weird Barbie, I love her. Reminded me a lot of Cynthia from Rugrats. I don't know if anyone ever watched that when they were kids. As you know, the Barbies run the whole Barbie land, and the Kens are pretty much eye candy. That is how it has always been since their creation, and in the beginning of the movie, you see that. As the opening continues, you start to notice that things aren't that perfect. You start to see that not only stereotypical Barbie, who is Margot Robbie's Barbie, is oddly unsatisfied, but some of the Kens show it too in their face. I think Alan, poor Alan, shows it the most. It's like he's tortured. This movie touches on so many subjects. It touches on the subject of being a second-class citizen, no matter male or female, capitalism, growing up, motherhood, manhood, the patriarchy, corporate greed, bigotry, gossip, self-righteousness, sexism. It has all of that. But the beautiful thing about this is there was no finger pointing and saying who is bad and who is right. There was no woke agenda for all you conservatives listening. It was pretty much everyone's kind of screwed up in a way. And in real life, that's true. This movie was so cleverly written and directed that everyone can enjoy it. I feel like the underlining message, and this is for me, was that everyone should be able to be who they are and not be forced to be someone they aren't or placed in a box. And that's a Barbie reference there if you've seen the movie. You can be just Ken or just Barbie. It isn't a message that is like shoved down your throat. It's just there. I wasn't expecting the events to unfold the way that they did in the movie. movie. It was obvious once Barbie and Ken made it to the real world, but again, it was done so tastefully and hilariously true. The Barbies have full control of Barbie Land, and the Kens are the second-class citizens. In the real world, men run everything and women are the second-class citizens. Where's the lie? And the thing is, Ken noticed that and Barbie noticed that when they came to the real world. So they noticed, things are a little bit opposite. After the movie came out, and like even before the movie came out, there were some people, you know how they are, they just make up stuff and they just throw out their own opinions without watching it, or maybe they saw it at the premiere and then they gotta throw out their conservative views or their anti-woman views. And I mean, the people I'm about to mention just tells you that anyways. There were a couple of people grasping for attention by talking about this movie. Elon, look at me mommy, Musk, who hasn't seen it but tweeted, take a shot every time Barbie says the word patriarchy. Well, guess what? Ken does. Does that count, Elon? The man hates women so much. He thinks he's above women so much that he can't even handle a movie that is for predominantly women because he's not an attention of it. He's not part of it. There's no man to look up to in the movie. Elon just needs to shut up, be a billionaire, do his business, and just be quiet. And then we have Ginger Getz. She's the redheaded woman that's married to the alleged sex trafficker, the Florida Congressman Matt. Well, she says that the Barbie movie normalizes the idea that men and women can't collaborate. This coming from the woman who promotes a party of men that wants to take their rights away from women. Anyways, I don't think she saw the movie that I saw when she went to the premiere. Why was she even invited? Because that isn't what I walked away from when I left the movie. Then again, this is typical conservative behavior. Like any good conservative woman, this isn't her opinion, but the words her husband shared with her. Conservative women, they just repeat what their husbands say and vote for who their husbands vote for. I'm sure her favorite part was when the Barbies were all bimbos serving beers to all the Kens and massaging their feet. I'm sure I will read some more bad reviews of the movie over the course of a couple weeks. I heard Ben Shapiro has lost his mind and burned some Barbie dolls on his channel talking about the nuke movie men. You know, Ben has as much testosterone as a limp noodle. That is clear when he grew out his beard to look more manly. He is such a whiny bitch, but who cares? The movie was amazing and I loved it, and I think everyone should see it and laugh at all the weirdness. The Barbie movie is beautiful. It brought a tear to my eye a couple of times. I think all those listening that watch it would know the parts I'm talking about. And for all those who want to take their children, you can, but I think it's obviously for like older teens and adults. Your child would still enjoy it, but I don't think they would get the full message of the movie, and that's okay. Children watch Shrek and they don't even get the full gist of all the jokes. And that, kings and queens, concludes this short episode of What Queens Say. Remember that Barbie has been a role model for generations. She's taught many young girls that they can grow up to be anyone they want, and gave young gay boys the outlet to embrace their femininity. The Barbie movie tells us the importance of acceptance and compassion for everyone, regardless of gender, as well as embrace diversity and advocate for equality and strive to create a world where all individuals are valued and respected. Until next time, may the crowns of laughter and empathy forever adorn your regal heads. The royal court is dismissed.